I want to get Anita to respond to something that James said a few moments ago, and he talked about the potential loss of revenue. Now, at the federal, state, and local government, we make public policy decisions all the time that may be the best in terms of dollars and cents, or it may not be. Should money be a driver here, or is it one of these issues where the policy should stand alone, whatever the policy is, irrespective of whether it costs or makes money?
It is a fact of life that issues such as this will always be scrutinized for what their fiscal impact is. And as it happens, I have the exact language that the state of Maine put out after an analysis by its Office of Fiscal Program Review, which analyzed and reported on what the impact of effectively question 1 on the ballot would be, as it does for all legislation. And this is what it says. Although these provisions may initially decrease certain license sales to DIFW, hunters currently using these methods prohibited here may choose to purchase licenses to hunt without these methods, mitigating any revenue loss from license sales. In addition, minor fine revenue from violations of the provision would further offset any remaining decline in license sales. Overall, no significant impact to the general fund revenue is anticipated. This is by the state of Maine. But I think more importantly here is the effect on other states. And to the really excellent question about what's different between now and 2004. Among the things that is very different is we have another 10 years of experience of states that have baiting and states that don't. Maine has continued to bait. Maine's population has gone up 30%. So it does raise the question, and this biologist raised the question himself back in 2005, in that the Maine bear population is not fluctuating with the natural food sources. Query, what is causing this stability in the Maine population, even in poor years for food? And advise that the state should be doing empirical studies on that. This state has done no empirical study on what is the effect of putting in an estimated 7 million pounds of junk food in our forest that our bears are eating in the fall, as Daryl described, in a particularly crucial time of year, that is creating more reproductivity, more survivability among bears in this state, and driving up the population.
Okay, we're almost an hour into our discussion. We have 30 minutes left, and I'm really going to impress upon my panelists to really tighten up here. I don't want to have to cut anybody off, but we're going to go now. In the last half hour will be lightning round questions and lightning round answers, so I can get to as many people as possible. Sir, please tell us who you are, where do you live, and what is...
My name is Brian Kogel. I live in Parsonsfield. I'm president of the Maine Trappers Association, and I have a question for Anita. You have no right to be on that board, okay? You just commented a little while ago about a dog being caught in a bear trap. That dog was caught in a coyote trap. I had permission. That was my trap. I had permission to be on that property. That man did not. If he had gone to the landowner and asked for permission, he would have known that there was traps set there. And all he had to do was take his coat and droop it over that dog and reach down and take the trap off, just like every other bird hunter, rabbit hunter has done in the past. All right? What he did was absolutely wrong. And what you're doing up there is absolutely wrong. All right, I've had bait out for the last month, and I've had bears come in very close to my bait and not even bother with it because there is so much natural food. They don't go, just because there's donuts out there, just because there's a McDonald's or a Burger King down the street, everybody doesn't pile in to go to it. They go to natural food first. If they want a little bit, my son's got bears on camera. He'll take a little bit, and then he'll leave. You might not see him for a week. They know to go to natural food first. I just want to clarify what you said a little while ago.
Well, and I would like the chance to respond to it in the way that he framed his question.
In a moment, but I just want to emphasize that maybe bears don't go to any pile of donuts, but in a newsroom, they always chase a pile of donuts. I can tell you that it's pretty scary to see that in action. But please, and I may have to interrupt you in just a moment, Anita, because we're going to have to finish our TV broadcast in a moment, but please, I'd like you to respond.
Okay. Well, to the gentleman who said that someone such as myself, who is not a, quote, expert, shouldn't be up here, I think that's something that the voters in this state should consider. The notion that we are not entitled to be, as citizens who are not biologists, to be questioning what's going on with the biologists here. The point that he raised about the...
I'm going to interrupt just for a moment there, because we are actually have run out of time for our television broadcast. For those of you who've been watching us on Channel 13, we're continuing the discussion at WGME.com, so please stay with us. You want to hear the rest of Anita's answer to the question that was asked a few moments ago. So thank you for joining us. We're going to continue on the web. Please.
I made about the dog being caught in the trap was really speaking to the pain and the extreme pain that that animal felt. Obviously, you know better how to get the animal out of the trap than the owner did. He didn't know he shot his dog, and that was the point here. These are not comfortable, humane traps that we are talking about. Lake hold traps are not.
Mark, just in a second, I'd like to address a couple things. And this issue has come up several times about baiting impacting the population. And so one of the things that people of Maine should know is we, as your state agency, your biologists, have been monitoring the health of black bears in Maine for close to 40 years now. And what we do is we go into the dens in the wintertime and we locate the females and we measure the health of the females, we measure the health of the cubs and the yearlings. And the one thing that we know is that all the metrics we look at, the age in which females first reproduce, the number of cubs that they produce, the health of the cubs, are the same or lower than states that do not allow baiting. We also know that in years where we have poor natural food productions, the yearling weights are almost half of what they are in years in good food production. So we know in the state of Maine, population is what drives the black bear population. So it's food, natural foods, not bait, that drives the population. And you know, we can look to other states, and Daryl's brought up a couple times that I'm not comparing apples to apples. So if we look at the state of Vermont, has about, let's see, their bear population is about 6,700. They've got 500,000 people in Vermont. They don't allow baiting, and they have on average 500 complaints a year with nuisance bears. So that comes out to 76 complaints per 1,000 bears. The state of Maine has 15. So we compare our data with states that don't allow baiting, and our data consistently shows baiting is not what causes population growth. Natural foods is what cause population growth. Baiting does not habituate bears to people in the backyard. It's presence of food in the backyard that habituates bears to backyard environments.
All right, and Daryl and James, hold your thoughts for just a moment, because we're in our lightning round questions, lightning round answers, and I will get to you in just a moment. Please tell us who you are, where do you live, and what is your question?
My name is Ann Haskell. I live in Portland, and my question has to do with the amount of food that actually does come from baiting. Can you give me a sense? They seem to be talking about huge amounts of food, but what is that as a percentage of that bear's diet?
It's minuscule.
Well, let me get Daryl. I want to bring Daryl back in the conversation.
I would love to address this. In a recent newspaper article with the Bangor Daily News, Randy was quoted, Randy Cross, the head bear biologist, is saying it's about 1 donut per acre. So I thought, well, Randy's done his homework. He's gone through and he's taken a look at it. I'm going to do the same thing. So this is the math that I came up with, and my job is a lot of math. So I've triple-checked it. Anyone is welcome to. If they use just glazed donuts, and believe me, they use fry later grease and ring-dings and ho-hos, things that are much fatter than just a glazed donut. 1 pound of glazed donuts have 2,048 calories. Randy agreed in Aislinn Sarnacki's column. You know, it's maybe not 7 million, but it's in the ballpark. It's close. And so I used that 7 million pounds times the 2,048 calories, and I came up with 14,366,000,000 calories that we're putting out there in high-fat, high-calorie junk food. If you take a bear population of 30,000 bears, we're giving each, and this is if we assume that every bear is sitting down and splitting up the bait, which we know very well they're not. This comes down to almost 500,000 calories per bear over a 60-day period, or about 8,000 calories a day if every bear splits up the bait. That means in a bear's hyperphagic stage, they need about 24,000 calories, 24 to 27,000 calories a day. We're supplementing 1/3 of that with high-fat junk food.